Welcome into the Pick a Side Podcast, NFL Playoffs Recap Edition. We've got the wild card round in the books. We had a college episode already from Chicago's College Tailgate. If you missed it, it's available for you. All the reaction to Indiana advancing, as well as Miami advancing. I almost forgot who they were playing because holy fuck.
Doesn't even matter.
How are the college football playoffs still happening? Shea Norling with Tyler Aki. As always, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm still floating from Saturday. Like I'm thinking about I'm trying to piece back together the night. We had a time. We were at the game, Bears and Packers. Probably my greatest sports viewing experience ever. I was trying to think if there was anything that topped it, and there will never be anything, I think, that tops that experience unless we see something like that in a Super Bowl.
It is the best football game that I have ever attended in person. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was like you can't dream of having a better game than that as a spectator. And I wonder where you land on this, because I always think the crowd that is taken out of the game early and then gets brought back in is the best crowd in sports.
Well, I think the best part of the game for me, as from a fan perspective, was even though there's plenty of Packer fans in the city, even though Milwaukee and Green Bay are not a far drive from Soldier Field, it was 95% Bears fans there?
Yeah.
And I was expecting it to be more of an 75, 25, 80, 20 split. There were, when we were walking into the stadium, we could count on one hand how many Packer fans we saw.
It was an incredible environment. And also, it was a Caleb Williams arrival, kind of.
For sure.
We got to the bar after the game, and Charlie told us 360 yards. And we said, what? He did what? No, it was stellar. The fourth quarter, what Caleb was able to do in the second half, I think he finished the first half with 70 yards, and he finished the game with 360.
Yeah, he had the box score. He had the individual highlight moments. He played a damn good game, man. And even though there was, like you said, the box score wasn't pretty for him at the end of the first half, I still thought he played pretty well.
He's becoming a really baffling player in the sense that you can say Caleb's awful today and be right at the end of the third quarter, and you're going to look like a fucking clown for having said it once the game is ended.
Mm-hmm.
That was the experience against the Packers, where you could, at the end of the third, if you go, Caleb's just having a shitty day, you were right. And then he has, the best fourth quarter any Bears quarterback has ever had, and you look like a moron.
I think that was another sticker shock thing for me, is when I looked at, I knew the comeback was actively happening.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they outscored them 25-3 or 25-6? 25-6 in the fourth quarter. And it wasn't like Green Bay wasn't executing in certain moments. They had a couple moments where it was all right, that's the dagger. They have the touchdown in the fourth quarter. Felt like that was a dagger because that put them back up 2 scores. They had a couple of moments where it was all right, there's a first down and that's going to drain another X number of seconds off the clock. That could be the dagger. And for whatever reason, the Bears just kept finding ways to get the ball back.
Matt LaFleur's a moron. I don't get why they're not firing him.
Well, I think that's one that takes a little time. Like Harbaugh, they didn't fire right away.
Yeah.
Monday morning. I think it's one that takes a little time.
But all the reporting is they're talking about maybe it's offering him something that they know he won't take, and he's just going to leave on his own.
I wonder this. I went into the game saying they'd be foolish to fire Matt LaFleur. And largely I agree with a lot of the things that Aaron Rodgers said last night when he was asked about Mike Tomlin's future, and then he roped in Matt LaFleur to it. But then I see that game, and I'm like, all right, I would kind of understand you.
Well,
it's not something I would do still, but I would understand it.
The reality to me is LaFleur's good, but I also think he's overstated as some unfireable guy. If not for the rule changes, he would never have made the playoffs in the last 4 years. Eliminated playing for the 7 seed by Detroit, and then 7 seed 3 straight years. It's the Packers seed.
Well, it was I think with Rodgers they were in clean, but yeah, outside of that.
No, the 1 year, but it was the Detroit eliminated them. That was LaFleur game. The last 4 seasons, if not for rule changes, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And that's not to say, they did win the game against Dallas.
Yeah.
They're a play away from potentially winning the game against San Francisco, too. But no,
he's also a guy who, frankly, I'll never believe it, down 8 with 8 minutes left.
Makes no
opted to kick a field goal in the NFC title against Tampa. I've never understood that decision.
No.
And then this game stands out especially
this is the worst of them all.
because if you tell me that the Bears are down 21-3, I don't think that they're coming back. If you tell me that they're down 26-10, whatever the score was, the 26-9, I don't think that they're coming back. If you especially tell me they're down 26-9 and will not get either a special teams touchdown or a takeaway, I definitely don't think that they're coming
or
back.
An onside kick.
You almost have to, or an onside kick. You almost then have to ask, how did they come back? It's very simple. You distill it to one moment in the game. Packers get a first down with 2:40 left?
Yes.
Their first play, I think Ben Johnson takes a timeout. Okay. First play is Jacobs gets stuffed. Timeout. Then you come out of that timeout and take a delay of game. And then your next play, you drop back Jordan Love. How are you not running the ball?
Yeah.
It's silly. Your one job is to take Ben Johnson's timeouts and take as much clock away as you can.
Now, ultimately, it didn't matter because the Bears scored as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
Which there was a part of me that was like, boy, that's a lot of time left on the clock for Green Bay. But at the same time, it was like, you got to find, if you find your way into the end zone, you find your way into the end zone.
And I get McManus missed the extra point and the 2 field goals. That keeps you alive, too. It's just LaFleur not running the ball and taking as much time away from the clock and taking the timeouts off the clock. I'm never going to understand it. I think he only made his life more difficult. You're doing these low percentage go balls, too. That's the crazy part is it's not like LaFleur took his foot off the gas. He's throwing deep balls.
Yeah.
Dude, you're up a touchdown still. Just run the ball.
There is something to still going for it, especially with the way that Bears defense was playing in that first half. You had corners you could attack, and there were probably moments where they could have thrown a flag too. I remember there was one in the end zone, left end zone.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
There were a couple of moments where I was like, oh, maybe got away with a little something there, but it's playoff football. Let them play a little bit. So, yeah, it's frustrating when you see what the end result is, but listen, if your plan is to bring in John Harbaugh, is John Harbaugh really a better option? He's got, boy, does he have his difficulties finishing games too.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. Because I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of John Harbaugh to the Pack yet.
Wait, real quick sidebar for it. It's the most twisted shit ever, the way that they're trying to frame this Harbaugh to the Packers thing is like, oh, his agent's dad used to run the Packers, so all of a sudden John Harbaugh is the candidate.
He has a house in Copper Harbor.
He has a house, in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, a state that is not Wisconsin. So he must love the Midwest. No, it is funny the way that they're framing all this up. Let's just call it what it is. John Harbaugh is one of the best candidates you can hire.
And by the way, for people who don't know, and I know a lot of people do, Green Bay and the Upper Peninsula are not especially close. It's like a 2-hour drive.
It's unbelievable.
I kept hearing it. I'm like, what are they talking about, dude? You have a long way to go. You get to Green Bay, you're still going a ways before you get to the Upper Peninsula and cross into it.
Yeah,
it's just silly. If his house is in, I don't know where John Harbaugh's house in the Upper Peninsula is. I'm going to say if it's in Sault Ste. Marie, one of the more populous areas, it's probably 5 to 6 hours from Green Bay. I don't understand how it's a fact.
You're the Michigan expert of the show, so I'll defer to you on all driving times.
Regardless, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet because before we do, we have to be fair, and that means we have to bring up Monday Night Football. So I just want to go through game by game. Quickly, I have reactions to each of them.
Okay. Even
though we've kind of gone over the Bears-Packers side of things already, just kind of figured that would happen.
Yeah.
But Rams and Bears I want to lump into one because that was the Saturday game, and obviously they play each other. How big of a factor is bear weather? This is early. We're not making picks, but right now forecast might be the coldest game in Bears history, playoff history. Will almost certainly be the coldest game in Rams history.
Yes. I think it's significant. Now, listen, it's not like these guys haven't played in the cold before, but I think there's a difference between playing in the cold and playing well in the cold, or even playing average in the cold. And we know, listen, Stafford played well in the snow game, but playing well in a snow game and playing well in a cold game, I think, are two very different things.
Yep.
Snow games are always going to favor the offense. You get to plant your foot first. You get to know where you're going, all that stuff. And when you're getting the amount of snow that game got, it usually means it's a little bit closer to 30 degrees than it is 0 degrees. I'd have to go back and check the weather from that game, but I would imagine it was sitting around 30 degrees in that.
Yep.
Playing the game in 0 degrees, and especially if you've got a busted up finger too, from what happened in the last game, I don't think that ends well for you. Now, if you can sit back in the pocket all day, which you might be able to do against this Bears team, it's a different story. But it'll mess with your grip on the football. The wind is not something that's going to help you out either. I think Stafford and Caleb both throw the ball hard enough where wind is really not going to be a crazy factor in the game, but it's something to at least monitor. And I think the health of Matthew Stafford is something to be interested in too.
I'm excited to watch it. I hope that it's similar to what Niners-Bears was when it was just Shanny and Ben Johnson going shot for shot. Yep. I want to see that with McVay and Ben Johnson. I can't wait to watch it. But the weather is – I want to go to the game because I want to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to – like this is one I want to feel.
Yeah, and I felt like we were – I don't know how you felt, but I felt pretty well prepared with the weather last week. And it wasn't like super cold on Sunday. But, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Even though I do love watching these games from the confines of my couch, I do think going to this extreme weather game, I would be into it. Mostly because of the stakes. If this was a regular season game, no thank you. But playoffs, I'm in.
I don't have anything for you on the Jags side of things because I know people are like ready to, Trevor Lawrence turned into a pumpkin again. I actually didn't think he played all that badly.
No. Tip ball on the final drive.
Defensively, I don't know what the hell was going on. But my Bills' reaction is, I guess it's tongue-in-cheek. Josh Allen isn't a real person, right? Like, he's not a human being. He's not flesh and blood like you and me are. Mm-hmm. How the fuck, on an already hurt foot, he goes into the tent for concussion in the first quarter, comes out, goes back into the game. Great. I've seen it 100 times. Then he hurts his hand, and then he, on a goal line run, comes up holding his knee. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, he just lost the rest of the season, and his next season might be over. Goes off the field into the medical tent. 2 minutes later, he's on his iPad. I'm like, what's going on?
Monty Python, just a flesh wound.
Then he comes into the game, and the tush push at the end of the game where he goes for like 12 yards.
Did you see people at the end, too, when they were down on the 1 yard line? Some of the talk around it was that they should have taken a knee.
Ridiculous. I heard Evan Cohen say it on Unsportsmanlike.
Get into the end zone.
It's an insane opinion.
Yes.
Take the time off and take a knee with the first 2 downs so that you get Jacksonville's timeouts. Yeah, and then you're not guaranteed to score, and you only have 2 downs to do it. Yeah. And you're down 4, so you can't kick and tie.
You lose yardage, too, on it.
It was utter nonsense.
You failed at that play multiple times a season ago in the playoffs.
And also, who cares? Because you won anyway because Trevor Lawrence threw an interception, so it doesn't matter. But I just watching it, I'm like, if this guy doesn't win a Super Bowl at some point, I hope people remember him for what he is, Josh Allen, because the performance he put on in Jacksonville was fantastic.
I wonder if, and they're different players, but I wonder if he is, and I don't think he has to change teams for this to be successful, but I wonder if he's maybe going to live a little bit of a Matthew Stafford arc where just fucking tough as nails, gets beat up, and he's obviously had way more team success than Stafford did.
And individual success.
But he's just like tough as nails, getting beat up his entire career. And then the light turns on, but he gets one really late into his career. And then you really start to appreciate him for what he is at the end.
I think he's a beast.
Can I say this, though? Like the way that he played in that game, and it's not just him, but the entire Bills team, I don't think they're winning one this year.
Interesting.
Because to me, the way I see the playoffs playing out, you are just going to level up the difficulty each step of the way. Like, the Jaguars are good. All right, now you get to go play that Denver defense in altitude.
I get it.
And then after that, you get to go see what we saw Monday night, potentially with Texas.
I guess I had the opposite feeling, and it might be a vibes thing, but it was just like Josh Allen's going to find a way, no matter what the situation is, where he knows it's this year. Like this is the year.
And it would be super impressive if he does it, because he's going to have to do it against some real top-tier defenses to get there.
And make no mistake, this is the worst Bills team he's had in the time that they've been knocking on the door.
I think, too.
Dragging this team to the playoffs is the most impressive work he's done yet.
Oh, absolutely. When you talk about the receivers that he's going through, and not that Gabe Davis is any great shakes, but he's done.
His career's over.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like some great player at this stage in his career anymore, but like you remember him from those Buffalo games, like the 13-second game too. He was awesome in that game. But I always think back on what Josh Allen has had to go through before, and it was always, he wasn't going up against these monolith type defense. He was going up against damn good defenses in the playoffs, but nothing like the path that he has this time around.
Yeah.
Like this time it's truly Josh Allen versus the opponent, as opposed to Josh Allen's defense holding off Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
It's a different battle this time around, and I'm fascinated to see how it plays out.
Niners, Eagles. I have an opinion on each side of this. You know what they are. Niners side is inarguable. Kyle Shanahan, I know it's only regular season. Kyle Shanahan should be the fucking coach of the year.
Yes.
There is I've seen enough. The voting should be reopened, and everybody should have to resubmit a ballot where Kyle Shanahan is the coach of the year.
And if you don't change your ballot, you must forfeit your ballot.
Yeah, you give up your vote. Like, if Kyle Shanahan doesn't win the award, I think it's kind of a crime. The idea not only that they made the playoffs, that they were in play for the 1 seed, but that they then went to Philly and lost George Kittle.
Yeah. Who, I know Christian McCaffrey's awesome. George Kittle is by far their most important offensive player.
They're playing without their key players defensively. They lose their do-it-all Swiss Army knife tight end. And they beat the Eagles anyway. And it's because you open the game with an explosive, like 60-yard play, and then trailing 13-10 or 16-10, whatever the score was, it felt like they were down 1,000,000,000-10. And they dial up the trick play at the exact right moment, and it works for an explosive touchdown to Christian McCaffrey off the arm of Jawan Jennings. And they just hunker down and snuff out the Eagles. Nah, he's the coach of the year. He's the best coach in football.
Oh, yeah. The way that he just battles attrition year after year after year. We've said it on this show so many times. Any other team that dealt with the caliber of injuries that San Francisco has dealt with this year would be doing draft prep. And we're not talking about, they'll be looking, what are they going to do with the 14th, 16th pick? No, you'd be talking about, what are you doing with the 5th pick?
Yeah.
Or the 3rd pick now.
You lose 8 starts from your quarterback, your season's over.
You'd look like what Washington looks like this year.
Yep.
Seriously. That's who you would be this year.
Do they need to move their facility away from an electrical substation?
Listen, I don't know how much credibility is behind that, but I am fascinated by it.
I think
I told you.
I think none, but it is like Will Compton's now putting it out there. This needs to be seen by everybody. I'm like, maybe they're just going to move.
I mean, yeah, like, it can't hurt, right?
I guess.
You might as well try it out. But all the numbers support that you're the most banged up team in football over the past, like, decade or so. I think it's, and maybe this is me, like, putting the tinfoil hat on with my excitement for this theory and report by some Twitter scientist, but I'm at least intrigued by it.
Yeah, it is fun. I
love a good sports conspiracy.
I'm starting to see how boomers can fall for stuff, because every once in a while I go on Twitter and I see a conspiracy and I'm like, boy, there's some validity behind this. And I'm like, fuck, is it happening to me? Eagles,
a Facebook mom before your very eyes.
Eagles side of it, simple. I want to know from you, if you were Howie Roseman, if you were Jeffrey Lurie, would you fire Sirianni?
If it meant if I knew for a stone cold fact that I could bring in either Tomlin, Harbaugh, or Stefanski, yes. Because those 3 guys, I think, bring stability to a franchise. And this franchise needs stability. The roster is incredible. If you just have a guy who can bring stability and you're not operating on one day and operating on 10 the next day and 7 on Wednesday and 3 on Friday, like if that franchise had stability at head coach and not some lunatic like Sirianni, both in-game and off the field and chirping with fans, like if they had stability, they would be the best team in football. And I don't think there's a doubt in my mind about that.
My problem with Sirianni is we know he's great with elite coordinators, and he's got one in Vic Fangio. We know he was great when they had Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon. But then it was Matt Patricia and Sean Desai and Brian Johnson, and it was a fucking disaster. Then it's Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and it's elite. And obviously Vic Fangio's going nowhere. But it's Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, and it works gangbusters. But then you lose Kellen Moore, and this Kevin Patullo guy, who you promote from within, is a total moron. Like he's just
lit up by 8-year-olds.
He's incapable of calling games. Like you can't have this guy be the offensive coordinator. So you're firing him again. Most coaches don't get it. This is true for Dan Campbell too, by the way, because I think that we're going to look at these two guys in similar vein. They were hired in the same cycle, kind of the same vibe. Most guys get a chance to fire one coordinator and not two. Sirianni's now going to fire 2 coordinators. And if you are a guy who I believe can only be good if you have elite coordinators, and I'm uncertain you have the ability to hire elite coordinators, are you really an elite head coach, or are you just a dude?
Yeah, no, it's fair, because think about it. Like, I would say the dream scenario for Philly right now, if Sirianni stays, is you hire Mike McDaniel to be your OC. Now, I think Mike McDaniel's probably going to get a head coaching job just because of the volume of jobs out there. But if you could bring in Mike McDaniel to be your OC, and it would be awesome, I think, for a year or two. But then Mike McDaniel goes and finds his next head coaching job if he's so awesome in Philadelphia. So then what are you doing? It gets tricky. It really does. And I think that unless, because Fangio's never getting another head coaching job, but how much longer is Fangio going to be a DC is the other question. It's like we've talked about it before. Like, can you find your forever OC, your Josh McDaniel type? And
it's hard.
It's hard because those guys usually end up getting head coaching jobs. You got to find a guy who just sort of fails a bunch and is just going to be a lifelong OC. And I think McDaniel ultimately is probably going to be one of those guys, but for right now, he's not that guy yet. I don't know. Like, let me throw a coaching trade proposal at you.
Okay.
Who says no to this? All right. Tomlin for Sirianni.
I think the Steelers probably say no, don't they?
I almost feel like Pittsburgh has been so even keel. They need a little chaos. Shake things up. Shake the bottle.
The one thing about Pittsburgh, though, is they've been even keeled in the sense that they've had the same head coach and ownership's never going to change, and this is the way they're always going to behave. They've not been even keel in terms of replacing assistant coaches. Every fucking year, it's whether it's Todd Haley or now it's Arthur Smith, who might get fired if they keep Tomlin. Yeah, Matt Canada for years. It's always a revolving door at offensive coordinator of guys who mostly stink.
At least you know Sirianni's capable of hiring a good one every once in a while.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you might have a bad year where you bottom out, you find a quarterback, and then you rise from there.
I'm going to save Tomlin for a moment because when we get to that game, Chargers-Patriots, I think there's the least to say about any of the games.
Game sucked.
Eagles-Niners was a stunning result to me. Chargers-Patriots, I feel like we were dead on Chargers plus 3.5. We just got fucked by the injuries, and we should have capped it better than we did. Herbert couldn't operate. They couldn't run the ball. Harbaugh's making decisions on the fly. Yeah, Hampton we're going to try it.
Disappears
and
after
can't play,
2 snaps.
The Patriots didn't play well. They clearly were rattled by a top defense. I think that's going to show up again when they play, wait for it, Houston.
Yeah. As a 3-point favorite, by the way.
Yeah, it's shocking.
New England is.
Shocking. But yeah, I not a lot to say on that one. Drake May's second half was much better than Drake May's first half. Drake May's first half stunk.
And both quarterbacks took a ton of sacks.
Yeah, which is going to be weird. Like next week,
I seriously think he may go down 8 times.
How does Drake sustain what Houston is bringing next week? I don't know. Speaking of Houston, Texans, Steelers, there's also really not a lot to say. 3/4 of this game was horrible, and then the bomb went off.
Yeah.
And it was Rodgers just detonating, trying to make decisions to will Pittsburgh to win the game. You could feel like, even at 7-6, it felt like they were down 30 points. Mm-hmm. And then Rodgers gives up the 2 defensive touchdowns, and it's game over.
Yeah, did he play great? No. But he knew he had to do that. Like, I'd rather go down swinging that way than... if you're lulling yourself to a 17-6 final.
Houston side, I think we both feel the same way because we've talked about it a few times so far this year, but it was seeing it in a playoff environment and seeing, I think, how bad the offense was. Because it wasn't a case of, like, I know their offense is bad. That can't. Mm-hmm. They had maybe their best drive of the season in a game where I also think they were the worst they've been all year offensively. You can't snap the ball to your quarterback. What a fucking nightmare. Stroud, the interception was a disaster.
Well, now what's going to happen with Nico Collins?
Nico Collins leaves the game with a concussion. Everything went wrong offensively that could have gone wrong, and it looked just disastrous. So after seeing it, do you feel like Houston's defense is good enough that it can carry them to a Super Bowl?
I think so, because I think looking at, I mean, you could take these 4 teams, draw them out of a hat. You've got a pretty good chance of them making it to a Super Bowl, right? Like, all of these teams have some sort of deficiency, and all of these teams, I feel like, have some sort of elite trait to them as well. Like, the Patriots have who could be the MVP of the league. The Bills have a super alien Demogorgon playing quarterback for them.
Yep.
The Texans and Broncos both have elite fronts and elite defenses. Any of them could go. Any of them could go to the Super Bowl. And it wouldn't shock me anyway. I obviously have my leans on who I think could go to the Super Bowl. But no, part of me wants to see Houston and Denver in the AFC title game. And you may say, well, why do you want to eliminate Josh Allen? Because if I see Josh Allen versus Houston, I already saw that game the week before. That game the week before is literally being played before our eyes in Denver and Buffalo.
It is funny that they're all kind of the same opponent. That's the only thing on the Texan side, and I feel the same way as you. I felt it all year. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter's a cheat code.
Yeah.
If you can get to maybe if you can get to 14 points, you're just going to win.
And that secondary is incredible too, with Lassiter, Derek Stingley, and Azeez Al-Shaair. Like, you've just got all of these guys who just pop up, and D'Amico Ryans just brings the best out of them, man.
Steelers side of it is what everybody's talking about nationally today, and it's, do you move on from Mike Tomlin? For me, it's a yes, but I'm always more aggressive than most people, I think, in making decisions like that.
Can I say this about Tomlin? If I'm going to move on from Tomlin, I'm trying to trade him.
That's fine.
I'm trying to trade, because you can get something for Mike Tomlin.
That's fine. I would move on, because what were the last 15 years for? And it's clearly never going to be anything other than this. You're just going to win enough to get in and then lose if you get in. Mm-hmm. You're never going to be bad enough to get a top pick. You're never going to be bad enough to alter the state of the franchise.
And there's something to be said about that, though, in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Going above 500 year after year after year. Even this year, like 10-7 is a damn good record.
I'm not sitting here saying that Tomlin's a shitty coach. It's just like, I think it's the best thing for both sides to move on.
Yeah, the same thing with Baltimore.
It's 15 years where you've just wasted time. And now that you're losing the support of the fan base, you just can't keep going like this. Mm-hmm. It's hit fever pitch with the fan base of like, okay, when you're getting booed off the field at a playoff game, we're at the point where you just result be damned. You got to go.
Yeah. And like, I do think there is validity to what Rodgers is saying. Like what he was saying after the game, like Tomlin and LaFleur are great coaches in the NFL. They're great coaches, but everyone at a certain point, great things need to come to an end, and sometimes you're better off separating. And this is just one of those instances where 18 years, man, It's a fucking long time to coach in the NFL for one team.
So my question earlier in the show that I've sidelined till now was, if Mike Tomlin becomes available, would you then fire Matt LaFleur if you're the Packers?
No, because I think you want a play caller.
Interesting.
I think you want a play caller. And it's not even that I think LaFleur is a better coach than Tomlin, because I don't think that. But it's the opportunity cost of having to kind of start fresh. Is it worth it? Is it worth that for Green Bay, who you've got Jordan Love, who's making a ton of money right now. You've got Micah Parsons, who's making a ton of money right now. You've got this sort of window right now. Is it worth taking a year in the gutter? Because I don't know if it's going to go swimmingly right out of the gate. Yeah. Who knows who's pairing with them with the offensive coordinator to bring along Jordan Love. Who knows how any of that goes. I don't think I would do it because I think the improvement that you're getting is not good enough.
The interesting part to me is everybody wants a play caller.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't that many play callers. They're all head coaches, all the good ones.
But I would say this. What about Stefanski? I would take Stefanski before I took Tomlin.
Okay. But are you firing LaFleur to get Stefanski?
No, I don't think I am.
See, that's
if it happens, that would be my number one guy.
If I want a play caller and I'm the Packers, who am I getting that's better than the guy I have? I already feel like Mike McDaniel can't do the job, right? At least not to the level that I'm firing Matt LaFleur.
No. And I don't even know if McDaniel's a better play caller than LaFleur.
I don't either. Now, he might be, but I don't know that firmly. And I know he just failed at being a head coach. I'm not going to fire a head coach who's made the playoffs, regardless of the rule changes, to get Mike McDaniel. Mm-hmm. That's silly. Yeah. And there's no hotshot up-and-comer because all the guys that would be hotshot up-and-comers have play callers in front of them.
Yeah. No,
we're going to run out of play callers to hire here.
I know. It's going to be interesting to see like the next wave of young guys. Like Declan Doyle with the Bears is certainly going to be one of them.
Should Stefanski be the most attractive coach on the market? I know people are saying Harbaugh. What if Tomlin enters the market? But you bring up a good point. Stefanski's the one that calls plays.
Now, I'll say this, and I have to be fair here. Stefanski's also the guy who's taken the play calling duties away from himself before too.
Sure.
However, I do think when you
Speaking of which, what's going on with Doug Peterson? Where's he at?
I think he's done. Or is he going to... I think he's riding off into like I'm going to be a consultant sunset. I'm going to be a professional check collector.
I never understood. He gave the play sheet to Press Taylor in Jacksonville, and I'm like, dude, just call the fucking plays. You're pretty good. Like, what's the problem here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Doug Peterson. What's going to happen with Mike McCarthy, too? He's going to get a head coaching job this cycle. And I think if you put him in the right situation, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world.
Jason Garrett might get a head coaching job this cycle.
That was comedy when I saw that. But Stefanski, yeah, he's the play caller of the group. But I think the situation matters. Certain places just need stability. If I need stability, I'm going for a Tomlin or a John Harbaugh type. But if I need like to develop a young quarterback, if I need like a little offensive juice, I'm going for a Stefanski, or maybe I'm seeing what Joe Brady can do.
Yeah.
I'm doing something along those lines there. So I think situations matter. I really do. Like if I'm Miami, I'm looking at probably more at the Stefanski type. But if I'm, let's say Buffalo moves on from McDermott, or even like in Baltimore, I'm looking, and it's funny, they got rid of Harbaugh, but like I'm looking more for a Harbaugh type in Baltimore. Because I think you have a good thing there. And you're just a coordinator away from being fantastic and potentially winning a Super Bowl.
Ravens are hiring Pete Carroll, per Tyler Eck. All right, that's all I got for you. You got anything else for me before we get out of here?
I'm trying to think through the rest of it. Again, we're kind of circling back on something, but there was some news with the Panthers today, picking up the option on Bryce Young. What do you make of Bryce Young? Because, He is so up and down. He has games where he looks amazing. He has games where he looks like a bottom 5 quarterback too.
I think he's bad. I think it's what it is. I mean, in big moments this year, he was a nothing. Thrown for 55 yards in big games.
Like, is he just going to be Trubisky?
I don't even know if
Trubisky had some games where he was awesome, and then he had a lot more games where he was fucking terrible.
The Bears never picked up the option on Mitch, did they? Didn't they ride out 4 years?
They did 4 and then they cut bait.
I think the problem the Panthers have right now is making the playoffs was really impressive from a Dave Canales aspect. That's like you needed that.
Yeah.
I think the way it happened almost hurts them in the long term because they had no choice but to pick up the 5th-year option on Bryce Young.
Yeah, and to be
Your
honest,
other choice is going dumpster diving.
I don't think the alternative was better. And it's like you're going to pay him what, like $25 million? That's
Right.
nothing for a quarterback.
And if you're going to rehab a quarterback, you're either going to rehab Bryce Young or you're going to rehab Mac Jones. You're going to rehab Malik Willis, and you're probably going to pay them more. Like it's
worth the 1-year experiment to at least find out if you can unlock some added dimension.
If it goes horribly, well, then you're going to eat $20 million in the 5th year, but you'll probably be bad next year and just find a new quarterback.
Like, do you think picking up the 5th year was trying to justify a trade you made? I do think it's a little half and half. Like, part of it's like we gave up all of that to get Bryce Young. We have to at least see this through for 5 years.
I think the calculus has to be in the, like what you gave. If you cut bait now and go the Mac Jones route, then you gave up all that stuff for nothing. You know, so it is. We have to pick up the option and hope that he's worth paying. Otherwise, we're blowing everybody out, right? And it's an owner who has zero temperament. Or zero patience, rather. Like, he's very temperamental, will fire everyone. So if this doesn't work, you just cut Bryce, you'll fire the GM, you'll fire Canales, you blow the whole organization out and do it again.
Yeah. And I do
Tepper's a madman.
No, he is a madman, but we know how these owners operate too. Even if it was fucking backing ass backwards into the playoffs, you know these owners love that Tepper loves that not only Canales made the playoffs, but made the playoffs as a home team
and
winning the division.
Nearly won a game.
Yeah. So I know he works irrationally at times, but I do think little things like that, and it's not even a little thing, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
Something like that holds a lot of weight and gives you some rope and leash.
Yeah. We'll see. I root for Bryce a little bit because I think he became the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
I like that Carolina's good. I like Dave Canales. I always have. If he can resurrect Bryce Young, it'd be one of the best coaching jobs I've seen.
Yeah.
All right. That it?
That's all I got. Yep.
Beautiful. That's our recap edition, NFL Wild Card. We have NFL divisional picks coming up later this week. We will also, I guess, include the national title game because this is big weekend of football, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You get divisional round playoffs and the national title on Monday as college football mercifully comes to an end. They got to figure out this calendar.
Yeah, it's gone on too long.
It's not even that can't take this long.
It's not even that I'm mad that there's still games on the table. I'm just mad how long it's taken us to get to these games. I think the number of games is fine.
It's 4 total rounds.
Yeah.
It can't take a month and a half.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It should take a month. At most.
It's just a total absurdity. But we'll get to it. We'll do national title picks, Indiana, Miami. Very exciting. And that's it.
That's all.
YouTube.com/@PickAsideESPN. Click the subscribe button. Leave a like on a video. Leave us a comment. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For Tyler Aki, I'm Shea Norling. This is the Pick Aside Podcast.